Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm Tash and today we're planning for February 2025. This month's theme was based on this set of lemon stickers that you're seeing here. Being in Australia means that it's summer here for me right now. I know that a lot of my audience is in America and it's winter for you guys, but here it is very dry and hot and occasionally very wet and humid. And because of that, I just wanted to do something that felt light and bright and fresh. Initially, I'd planned for this to be a citrus theme, but as soon as I added different papers and washi tapes and other stickers because I didn't have enough of the citrus ones, it kind of turned into more of a summery spring fruits theme. For Christmas, my daughter got me some absolutely beautiful stationery, including the origami papers that you saw before, but she also got me both of these sticker books, and I'll be using the Boho Dreams one specifically in this video. I'll actually be using the Mystical Ephemera, probably, for my March theme, so make sure you keep an eye out for that video as well. Getting started on the cover page now, I'm doing things slightly differently going forward, at least while I'm using a B5 journal, and putting my calendar on just one page as opposed to having a whole spread. I have so much more space in this journal, and I think that this will work for me really well. On the page opposite the calendar, I'm doing my February cover page, and I'm using a variety of stickers to make a fruit wreath. I absolutely love this theme and how it turned out. I've used a pretty limited palette of just yellows, blues, and greens, and it feels so fresh and bright. At this point, it was still very much a citrus theme, but since I only had one packet of the lemon stickers, I realized it definitely wouldn't be enough to carry the whole theme, so I needed to add in pretty much all the fruits that I had in my possession. This is where it started straying from the citrus theme, so pretty much immediately. I'm not mad though. Going with the flow and trusting the process led to something that I really love. I've used a simple bold font for most things in this theme, as well as a basic script, which is just basically my handwriting. For the bold font though, I'll have the font inspirations that I use linked in the description box if you're interested in trying them out for yourself. When colouring in the fonts, I'm just using my Zig Brushable markers and some Tombow markers, and using light and dark variations of the same colours to create a gradient effect. As soon as I added the bee paper, I knew it was no longer a citrus theme, and I embraced it and just went with a more summery spring kind of feel. Honestly, zero regrets. I also got this silicone stamp in my very first sticky subscription actually, and I've been dying to use it. I thought it might look really cute inside the wreath, so I'm doing that here, but because it's silicone, none of the inks I have stuck well, nor did any water-based markers, so it didn't stamp as well as it could have. I actually end up covering it up later, but not for that reason, just because it felt a little bit too wintry and I wasn't really vibing with it. It didn't feel like it was like matching the theme, so I do come back later on and add a little collage over top of it. Here, I'm just adding some white tissue paper over the black bee paper to soften it a little bit, since the black paper was very heavy and it kind of unbalanced the spread a little bit. And since I was embracing the new theme, I also drew in some cute little bees to tie everything together and utilize some of the white space. This theme is definitely more minimal for me, but it still felt like it needed, you know, a little something. My My best friend got me some silicone calendar stamps and I was so excited to use them. They actually don't turn out the best here, but that's because I didn't have the right kind of inks to stamp with, I think. Once I get some new stuff, I'll definitely be giving them another try and hopefully save myself some time writing out calendars. Anyway, now we've moved on to the next spread where I'm putting my content planner, progress and achievements, as well as my self-care trackers. The only art I've done this month, other than the bees, was to draw this orange slice. I could have just put some paper behind the trackers, but I don't know, I just felt like drawing an orange, so I did. I love how it turned out. And once I add the title and trackers on top, it's such a fun little addition to the spread. It's just bright and really fun to look at. I also had some room underneath my trackers, so I added a little space for my grocery list. I forgot to do it in January, but since I have space again, I can add some room back in there for my shopping lists. I had to stop for the last few months of my last journal because I wouldn't have enough space if I did. This is mostly because I was trying to fit 7 months into that journal rather than just 6. I really wanted to start the new year off with a fresh new journal and not start in December. So I kind of squashed everything in, and that meant that I had to sacrifice some space for things, and one of those was having space for my grocery shopping. It's back! Yay! Also, all the things that I cut out for this theme, like the trackers and headings and stuff that I've written onto scrap paper, I've used my corner punch to create rounded corners for a softer feel to the overall theme. To colour the orange slice, I'm laying down base colour with some water-based markers and then adding some dimension and depth with coloured pencils over top. Then I also add in some white gel pen for highlights, using my fingers to smudge some of the gel lines for a softer edge, and going over top with a Micron fine liner to finish it all off and make it look complete. I don't know why, but my white gel pen has been working so poorly lately. I had to have a scrap piece of paper to keep scribbling on to get the ink flowing again, and it was incredibly frustrating. I made sure to use the palest blue that I had to do all the line highlights, since the orange slice brought so much orange. It just sort of helped to offset some of the brightness in my opinion, and I like how the softness of it plays off the brightness of the orange. We're starting now with the next spread, which is where I have my symptom, mood, and sleep trackers. When it came to the sleep tracker, I really like the dot graph that I've been using, but I found that I also like to have more accurate info than that. Being able to see my quality of sleep and the hours slept can be helpful to see patterns for pain, autoimmune flare-ups, and migraines, so I also added in a little section where I can record that information as well. I definitely mess up a few times on this page. Like, for example, here, I got the days wrong. I did Sunday, Monday, not Saturday, Sunday, even though it's literally on the opposite page and I'd just done it, but easy fix. Whiteout and gel pen over it and we were good to go. Some of the other mistakes I made were, for example, on this section here, I wanted to record the hours slept and quality of sleep, but rather than having 4 dot grid boxes high for days, then dates, and then the 2 info sections, I only had 3 dot grid spaces high. I thought that rather than trying to add more space after the fact, I'd just put the days and dates in the same box, but I didn't really like how it looked, so I just went ahead and did dates only, which is honestly the most important part. It was a pretty easy fix with some whiteout tape and a gel pen to write on top. And seriously, if there is anything that I've learned from bullet journaling, it's to roll with the punches. I'm gonna make mistakes, it can't be and won't be perfect, but learning to embrace the mistakes and go with them, or, find ways to work around them has been a really important part of my personal development. And look, don't get me wrong, there are gonna be times that you don't love what you do, and that's okay. It's okay to not love the mistakes that you make and not feel like a theme has been executed the way that you want it to be, but we also need to embrace mistakes, Bob Ross says that there are no mistakes, there are only happy little accidents, and it's been a hard thing for me to try and learn and embrace, but it really does make a difference when you have that as your mindset. You might make a mistake, but that doesn't ruin the beauty of what you've already done. The beauty of your journal is that you are making it. Every stroke, every word, everything you add, every mistake that you made, it was done by you, it was chosen by you. And that in itself is a really beautiful thing. And I think it's really important to try and remind ourselves that however we choose to journal is okay. I say there are no rules. I mean, there is a bullet journal method and there are certain ways that you can do things, but honestly, my opinion is that if it works for you, then that's all it needs to be. You know, whether it's just a functional, non-aesthetic, basic bullet journal, or if it's something more decorative and maybe more personal. If it works for you, that's what matters. And I think it's easy to lose sight of that with the internet. I'm covering up the bird stamp here. It was my opinion, and my husband's too, when he looked at it, that it just wasn't quite working, so putting together a little collage. I think I might have gone a little overboard and did a bit too much, but I do like the end result. I'm not sure that it's better than the bird or having just left it empty, but it still looks good, I think. Moving on to the second last spread for this month, and we are working on Songs on Repeat, Things I'm Into, and February at a Glance. I really loved how the wreath turned out for the cover page, so I was really glad that I'd already thought to add in more wreaths of that type on this spread and in the next one. Some of the circles are a bit wonky, but that's okay. I really, really love this page and how the three wreaths all look together. I was working on this theme at the start of January, so I fully wrote out January for the header, and I had to flip it over and start again with the correct month. I'm just glad that I noticed it before I stuck it into my journal. That last spread was pretty easy to do since most of the decoration comes from filling it in throughout the month. So we've already moved on to the final spread for this video, which is where I'm putting my dashboard to go along with my weeklies. You won't get to see me making the weeklies here. I upload each week as its own little short, but I am cutting the pages and prepping everything so you can get the effect that I'm going for, and then I can just get stuck into the weeklies after I'm done with this video. I made the weeklies for this month into its own little booklet. I actually adore the overall effect, to be honest, but I will say having that many pages cut out at the same place is kind of challenging because you don't want the pages to come loose or anything. I used some tissue paper and washi paper and glue to stick down the little parts that I left from cutting so they wouldn't like move around and it still felt like all the pages were there, if that makes any sense. I'm also adding one last wreath to the dashboard to really tie everything in together. This one's a bit more sparse than the others, but I do love the little vignette that I added in the middle. When I was planning this theme out, I didn't think about the top decoration as much as I could have. Basically, I wanted to decorate the whole top so that I could see it from any weekly that I was on. Just kind of save some time and also save some stickers since I already knew that I was low on the original pack of lemon stickers that inspired this theme. But when I added my dashboard heading, I didn't consider that you'd be able to see that from each weekly. In hindsight, I would have had that heading on the bottom of the page, but honestly, it's fine where it is, and it doesn't detract too much from each weekly spread, so I've just gone with it and left it where it is. I also made some line mistakes when ruling lines on this page, but I just went over them with my white gel pen so they weren't as noticeable. Pretty easy fix, to be honest. And with that, we are nearing the end of the video. Let's flip through and see how the whole theme came together. While we're doing that, I just want to take this moment to say thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm extremely grateful that you clicked on this video, and I really hope that you enjoyed watching. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel if you'd like to see more content like this. And if you made it all the way to the end, you can leave me an orange emoji in the comments to show that you were here the whole time. I hope February treats you well and that you're safe and as happy as you can be, and I really look forward to doing this again with you for March. Bye!